Evening from Kentucky. I've got 6:30 Eastern time zone here in Fort Knox, Kentucky area. We had about 15 people sign up for this. I think there's only about three of you signed in. So I'm gonna give it just another minute or two and let some folks sign in. But I'll introduce myself and we'll go ahead and get started and try to get you to the point where you can ask questions. So my name is Dakota Walker. I am the Assistant Director for the Center for Military Connected Students at the University of Louisville. And what we do is we're a team of five, and we assist all military connected students with enrollments, admissions, VA benefits, tuition assistance, and pretty much anything that a military connected person would need um, while attending the University of Louisville. So, what we're going to talk about today is a lot about benefits that you can use for U of L, and also why you would want to choose U of L for mainly online programs is what we're going to talk about today. I see that from the registrations, there's folks from all over. We got people from all over the country, even some folks that are OCONUS as well. So again, I'm just going to give just another minute or two to let some folks sign in. We just got another person sign in. So I'll give it just a few minutes and then we'll get started. Thanks. And if anybody has questions before we start, this is the time that you can ask that as well. All right, we've got about six people logged in now, so I don't want to waste your time. So I'm going to go ahead and get started here in just a minute. Anybody have any questions for me before we begin? All right, I'm not hearing any questions. So normally you would have Brandy Chamberlain. She's the one that sent out the invite for you to register for this. She is the expert in the field, but she had a family emergency this weekend, so you guys are kind of stuck with me. I should be able to answer most all of your questions, but what I'm going to do is she has a pre-recorded version of this presentation, and since she's the subject matter expert, I'm going to turn that on for you. If you have questions, you can use the raise your hand button at the top of your screen there in MS Teams, and I'll pause the video and I'll try to answer it as best I can, or just save your questions till the end, and we'll have plenty of time at the end to answer any and all questions that you may have. So I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to start the video and I'll pause it just to make sure you guys can hear the audio. I was having some audio issues earlier today during the first session. All right. Can someone let me know that you can see the screen here? Thank you. I see a thumbs up. My apologies. Give me just a second.
online programs here at UofL. And today I'm going to talk.
Can you guys hear that? I think the settings are correct now.
Yeah, we can hear it.
Thank you. Okay, so this is going to be about 20 minutes, but like I said, just, if you have a question, raise your hand, and I'll stop it, or you can save questions till the end.
Talk with you just a little bit about the services that we offer to our military students for support services, as well as our academic services and academic programs that we provide to our military connected student population. First off, I would like to start by thanking you for your service. We at UofL are extremely proud of not only the services that we offer to you, but the services that you provide to us. So we want to reward you for that sacrifice. So today we're just going to talk a little bit about that information that we have to offer students. And I'm going to give you the chance at the end of the presentation to ask any questions that you might have. So at any point during the presentation, please feel free to post any questions that you might have in the chat. I will be monitoring that as we go throughout the session. But also at the end of the session, if you feel comfortable, please feel free to unmute yourself or turn your camera on, and we can have some interactive talk, and I would love to answer your questions that way. So let's go ahead and get started here, and we'll talk a little bit about the services that we provide. So first and foremost, we like to make sure that our students know if you are a currently serving member of the Armed Forces, Reserves, or National Guard, and you're considering any higher education program, whether that's at UofL or not, we do recommend that you start the process by contacting your installation's education office or your unit's education officer. They are going to be the best first point of contact to help you get going. And then once you have applied to UofL or wherever it is that you decide to end up going, then that's when our Center for Military Connected Students and our admissions office is going to step in and start assisting you with the process here at UofL. So a lot of times students are, you have a lot of opportunities and a lot of options. And one thing that we are super proud of at UofL is the service that we provide to our military affiliated students and their families. So as you can see here, we take that very seriously at UofL, and the quality of online education at UofL is going to be a bit different than what you might receive at other schools. So a lot of times people think that online education means that you are alone or you're isolated. And one of the things that we love most about our online programs here at UofL is that our online courses are taught by the same faculty that teach the in-person, face-to-face classes. And what a lot of our faculty will do is that they record the lectures that they deliver in those in-person classes, and then they post those online. So you are literally getting the same type of instruction as a student who is seated in a class. So among that, what we value the most is our recognition for our military students that we provide. So we have been designated a military-friendly institution for 12 consecutive years. We are one of only 37 major research institutions to receive that gold status. We also are considered a military spouse-friendly school. And the newest award that we have received is the 2022 Military Times Best for Vets Colleges. And that is something that we are super proud of. So we're going to talk a little bit about the services and resources that we do provide to you. We offer over 60 fully online programs at the bachelor's, master's, doctoral, and certificate levels. And most of our classes are taught in accelerated formats, and they are asynchronous. So that means that some of those classes may only be 8 weeks long, and you're able to move through those classes in a little bit faster of a progression. And asynchronous just means that you are not required to log in at any specific time. You are able to log in and complete your coursework at times that are convenient to you and your schedule. Most of our graduate programs also are no longer requiring the GRE or the GMAT for admission. So let's talk a little bit more about the services that we do offer to our military affiliated student population. So in addition to those awards that we just talked about, we do offer a $250 per credit hour tuition rate. And we'll talk a little bit more in detail about that here in just a minute. The main thing I want you to take away from that is that $250 per credit hour tuition rate applies to all of our online programs at the undergraduate level and many of our graduate level programs. We also recognize the American Council on Education credit recommendations when we look at awarding you credit for your military education and the training that you get on your joint services transcript. We also know that we want to honor your time and your sacrifice that you are giving to your country, and we will allow you to re-enter your academic program with no penalties upon deployment. So all you have to do is get in contact with our Center for Military Connected Students, and they will assist you in that process. So let's talk a little bit more about the $250 per credit hour rate. And there are not many major research institutions like UofL that offer that credit rate at the graduate level. So there are specific programs, for example, our MBA, our Masters of Engineering Management, and some of our graduate level certificates that do not offer the $250 per credit hour rate, but they do offer a discounted tuition rate. And if you have any questions about which programs are eligible, you can go ahead and post that in the chat, or we can talk about that at the end of the presentation, and I'm happy to answer that. So active duty and Coast Guard members automatically qualify for this rate. There is nothing additional that you need to do. And National Guard and Reserve members could qualify for this rate if they are eligible for Title X military tuition assistance. So again, that's something that your unit education officer can help you with, or you can also reach out and contact our Center for Military Connected Students, and they can let you know if you qualify for that rate as well. One of the things that we are most well known for would be our degree programs that offer prior learning assessment. So in addition to recognizing your credits for your joint services transcript, we have two programs at the undergraduate level that award prior learning, what we call prior learning assessment. That's our Bachelor of Science in Organizational Leadership and Learning, where you can earn up to 48 credit hours tuition free, and our Bachelor of Science in General Studies, where you can earn up to 27 credit hours tuition free. So we realize that work and life experience are just as important, maybe more so important, when it comes to your overall knowledge and how that applies to where you want to be with your career and with your education. So within these programs is built the opportunity for prior learning. So within this, you will get credit for your prior work history, your military service, any type of community service or leadership opportunities, and you are able to bring all of that life experience and be awarded credit for those opportunities and that learning that you have received. So with that, it does allow you to graduate faster. So we can talk a little bit more about that once we get done if you have any questions about that. So let's talk a little bit about our Center for Military Connected Students, which is a new office that we just opened. They are about to open, they're in the process of building a wonderful new center in one of our buildings on campus. But those services are available to all of our students, whether they are in face-to-face classes or online classes. So what they are going to do is they are going to connect you with resources, both student and academic support resources. They're going to connect you with each other because we know that military students, military families have very unique experiences. So they want to connect that community together so that you can support each other through personal success, but also through student success, because we want you to be successful just as much as you want to be successful. So that means that we need to provide you with the resources for you to achieve that success. So within the Center for Military Connected Students, they are going to confirm your military status and your affiliation. They actually make undergraduate admissions decisions. They will help you identify the benefits that you qualify for. They will advocate for your military credit transfer. And they also will connect you with who you need to speak with to assist you with withdrawals and readmit due to deployments or call to active status. So along with that, so the Center for Military Connected Students is going to actually make your decision for admission at the undergraduate level. But at the graduate level, they are going to assist in that graduate decision, in that academic and admissions decision. So once you apply to UofL, you have access to your application portal. And that is where you can track the status of your application. So you can see if we have received your transcripts, where your application, what your admission status is. At the graduate level, you can see if we have your transcripts, your letters of recommendation, and your other documentation. So you will work very closely with our Center for Military Connected Students, whether you are at the undergraduate or the graduate level. So let's talk a little bit about our online degrees. So we offer 13 fully online bachelor's degrees. Most of them are either a Bachelor of Arts or a Bachelor of Science. So basically the difference between a BA and a BS is that the BA generally focuses on humanities related classes, while the BS will emphasize math and science. We talked a little bit about our Organizational Leadership and Learning program, which is one of our top programs overall, but especially with our military connected students because of that opportunity for that prior learning assessment. So we do offer 9 tracks in that program, so you can focus your specialization in an area that is relevant to you and where you want to be within your career. So the options that we have for that, we have leadership training and organization development. We have project management for the modern workforce, digital leadership in IT. We have a human resource development track. We have counseling and human relations. We have a career and technical education track. And then our newest track that we offer within that is our diversity, inclusion, community engagement, and equity. Now, another top track within our organizational leadership and learning is a healthcare leadership track. So those are where a lot of our students will go into when they want to be involved in the healthcare field, but maybe not necessarily in patient care. So for example, we have a lot of students who have an RN degree who don't want to go into nursing management, but they want to go into some form of leadership. So that is a lot of the students that we see going into that. Another one of our top programs that we see with our military connected students at the undergraduate and the graduate level are our criminal justice programs. So let's talk a little bit about the graduate level programs that we offer. So these are our fully online masters, and we do have one fully online doctoral degree. That is our Doctor of Social Work. So some of our popular graduate programs are our MBA, our Engineering Management, our Master of Science in Social Work, Human Resources and Organization Development, and our teaching programs. So the Doctor of Social Work is the first fully online doctoral degree that we do offer here at UofL. Hopefully we'll be launching some more doctoral level degrees online here soon. One of the great things about our MSSW program that we offer is that students do not have to have a social work bachelor's degree, a background in social work in order to go into that MSSW program. And that is something that really draws a lot of people in, especially for our military connected student population who may want to go into some form of social work related to military connected students and family resources. So our social work program does allow social work backgrounds into that program. So if you have some questions about that, I'd be happy to answer that. And we also offer several certificates online, and these tend to be pretty popular with our military affiliated population, especially within the cybersecurity, the data science, the data analytics, and that sort of thing. So these are fully online certificates. Some are available at the undergraduate level and some are available at the graduate level. So certificates can be completed as part of a degree. So they do not extend the amount of time that it takes you to complete your degree program. And a lot of times they're a great platform to start your education and easily move into a degree. So you can complete them standalone, or you can complete them as part of your degree program and they count as your elective hours. So no additional time or cost in order to complete those certificates or to move that into a degree program. The newest certificate that we offer is our Six Sigma certification, which is quickly becoming a very popular certification program that we offer. So once you decide to take the step to apply to an online program at UofL, you are going to be assisted by our enrollment counselors. And we are known for our excellent student service and personal outreach that we offer. I myself was an online student. I completed all 3 of my degrees online at different institutions. My bachelor's degree is in the BSOLL program, and the service that I received while an online student at UofL is not common among some other online programs. So our enrollment counselors are assigned to students based on their academic program, and they will answer your admissions and program related questions. You don't have to schedule an appointment with them. There's a chat option on our website. You can call, you can email. Their hours are basically 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern time, and they are there to be accessible on demand during our business hours. So they're going to customize support based on your individual student needs. You're going to receive one-on-one contact from them. They're going to support you through all of the process. So they will reach out to prospective students to discuss your goals, your barriers, the opportunities that await you, and any program related questions. And they're also going to connect you to UofL resources and the academic programs. So one thing I do like to let students know is that our enrollment counselors are not admissions counselors, and they don't process your application or transcripts. That would be handled at the undergraduate level through the Center for Military Connected Students, and at the graduate level through graduate admissions. But they will help you in any way that they can. So let's talk about admissions for a little bit. So admission requirements vary depending on your program. So all students, regardless of the program that they're interested in, will need to submit UofL's application for admission and send transcripts to UofL. Some programs may require other materials. For our active duty service members and our veterans, you do not have to submit an application fee. That is waived for you. And then we do encourage you to check for scholarships. So at the graduate level, you are going to need to also provide some letters of recommendation along with that. And that is something that your enrollment counselor can help you with as well. Some of our programs have other application deadlines, especially the programs that operate on 8-week terms. But for the most part, the general preferred application deadlines are April 1st for a summer semester start, August 1st for a fall semester start, and December 1st for a spring semester start. So with some of our financial resources, in addition to the reduced tuition rate that we offer, we do have several military connected scholarships that you can look into. And also our financial aid office is going to assist you. So we do recommend all students, especially at the undergraduate level, fill out the FAFSA application. And once that is processed, that's what's going to determine your eligibility for all federal and state-based grants, student loans, work study, and some scholarships. In addition to that, with the new, our newest scholarship is the Salute to Service Veteran Independent Scholarship. And that is something that we just started awarding this year, and that will be awarded in the fall. And in the spring semester, we do award 2 scholarships, and that is a renewable scholarship each semester. So another thing that we offer for some of you who may be veterans, we are part of the Federal Academic Alliance, and that is for non-military federal employees. We provide you with a 10% off tuition rate for our online programs. So there are a lot of options to help you with financing and paying for your education. So when I talked about support, not just financial support and admission support, but we want to provide academic support. And so these are a list of the resources that you will have access to as an online student. And two of the ones that I used the most was our virtual library and our virtual writing center. So they are there to help you with any type of resource that you need, assistance that you need. So maybe it's finding sources for a paper, or maybe you need someone to review your paper or suggest some edits. That is what they are there for. All of these are free of charge. So if you have any questions about the services that are available through these academic support offices, I'm happy to answer those questions as well. So one of the things that we do recommend students to do is to attend program-specific info sessions, and those sessions are always posted on our website at louisville.edu and going to the online programs page. But if you have any questions, you can always just scan this QR code, and I've also listed the louisville.edu/military-connected-students. That is the website to go to contact the Military Connected Student Center. And either they or I am happy to help you in any way that we can. So at this point, I'm going to go ahead and open it up for questions.
All right. Hopefully you guys gained a little bit of information from that recording. But I'll go ahead and open up for questions now. And what I also want to do is I want to give you in the chat, I'm going to put some links that Brandy talked about. I'm going to put those links into the chat box so you guys can have them and take them with you. And I will take your questions now.
Is there a limit on the time since graduating from your undergraduate that I guess disqualifies you, or does it just not matter how long you've been graduated from your undergrad?
Are you talking about getting admitted to a graduate program?
Yes.
I believe that it's just you just have a bachelor's degree. I don't think there's any time limit. Now that may be specific to whatever graduate program you're trying to get into. So that could be college dependent.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, and the best thing you could do for that is she mentioned those enrollment counselors. If you were planning on going to U of L, the best thing you can do is reach out to the enrollment counselor. There is just one email box that you would email a request to, and then they all see it. And whoever has that specialty for that program, then they would then take your question and answer or help you make decisions based on that information.
Okay, great.
Perfect.
So if we happen to go into the field, what happens to the class? Like, would we be able to turn in our assignments later?
Yeah, great question. So what I always tell when I work with university professors and deans and directors and things like that, what I usually tell them is military connected students are exactly the same as normal students, except they have additional challenges. Things like going to the field, things like being in a deployed environment when you don't have reliable internet, or if you have something come up where you can't make a specific due date. As long as you are upfront with your professors, most of them have gone through what we call red bird training, which is other universities call it green zone training. But what that is it's a chance for my department, the Center for Military Connected Students. We train our faculty on what those additional challenges you guys might have. We train them on how to respond to that. So all I mean by that is usually the professor will be flexible with you. If you're running into an issue, that's where we, in my office, we can assist and help the professors understand what types of issues that you're going through, and we can advocate on your behalf. So that's one of the advantages that Brandy talked about at the very beginning of the presentation, is that, we as a military-friendly university, like, we have dedicated people, and this is our job. Our job is to help you be successful. So that's the advantage. So I guess the short answer to your question is, yes, the professors should be flexible with you on those due dates and things like that. But even if they're not, you have 5 dedicated people at our university to advocate on your behalf. Does that answer your question?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, and in addition to that, she mentioned that our online programs, most of them are asynchronous, which means you don't have normal meetings where you log in like this, once or twice a week or something like that. It's more at your own pace. Now, there may be times where your professor does ask you to meet with you one-on-one, or maybe as a small group to work through, certain projects that you're working on. But by and large, one of the biggest draws of the online programs that we have are that they are asynchronous. So they're a lot more flexible to the needs that you guys may have. Anybody else?
For those interested in the MBA degree plan, what is the actual price per credit hour?
Yeah, I just had a meeting with the director of the online business programs, MBA for both graduate and undergraduate today, and he explained it this way to me. It's a discounted rate, but I think if you do the math, it's a 45 credit program for the MBA, and if you do the math, it works out to something like $500 ish per credit hour. It's normally about $700 to $800 per credit. I think he said that $32,000 total is the normal sticker price. But with the discount, if you divide it by 45, I think it works out to around 500. So what that means is, if you choose us for your online MBA and you use military tuition assistance at that $250 credit hour rate the $4,000 that you would get per fiscal year, that would cover about half of it, if that makes sense.
Makes sense. Thanks.
Yeah, any other questions?
I know this one is a little more program specific, but if we're interested in doing a graduate program that involves practicum or internships, will we be able to do those in our duty location, or even if we're like on rotation, Oconus, how would we be able to do that or navigate that part?
Yeah, that really is going to be program specific, but let me just give you a couple of examples. Yes, they try to be flexible with you, and I mean, you have to understand, about 25% of all of our students that are in online programs are military connected. So they deal with these types of issues quite a bit. So they found ways for you to go to the organizations that you want to partner with. So they're as flexible as they can be. Now, the problem that can occur, and I'll give you one example, is, for example, the Masters in Social Work. They have specific sequential internships that you're supposed to have. Like, you have one in the, let's say the fall semester, and then one back to back in the spring semester, and it's supposed to be 1 year continuous. So if you're in a situation where you PCS in between, or you get deployed in between that semester, you could run into an issue. Normally, right now, the policy at UofL for the Masters in Social Work is you would have to sit out a year, but we are working through that right now, where we're trying to change that policy to be more flexible. But another advantage, though, is since you're military connected, there may be on-post resources that you can work with that could be transferable. So all that means is you may work with let's just use Masters in Social Work as an example. You could work with someone on, like a behavioral health person on post, and that could be your clinic, or that could be your internship. You could work with the VA. VA has, locations all over the world, Oconus in addition. So you could do something like that. Does that kind of answer your question? I didn't catch who actually asked that.
Sorry, I got completely booted from the meeting for some reason.
Uh-oh.
Okay, so I heard the part about working in a behavioral health program.
Sure. Yeah.
And then that's when it cut off.
Okay. Yeah. So, but all I was saying is, being that we're asynchronous and it's an online program, we try to be flexible and let you choose what organization that you want to work with. So there's lots of options even on post that you can work with, behavioral health, for example, or like maybe a local VA hospital you could work at that's off post. Those are all options that you would have as well. But you would work with your professor on that, and you would work with the program would help you make those connections. But like I said, the only issue would be right now, the policy is you're supposed to have a full year at the same location so that you can finish all of your field work. If it's the Master's of Social Work, what program are you looking at?
The Master's of Social Work, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I actually met a student here who she was doing her internship at the behavioral health clinic at the hospital where I work. So I just wanted to make sure like I had enough time, because I will be here for like an additional year, and then I have the option to extend, if I'd be able to just complete my practicum and all of that here. So that gives me hope. Thank you.
Yeah. There's plenty of folks in the Masters of Social Work. Actually, Ellie Rich is one of the recruiters for that program. She's going to try to jump onto these as well to answer questions like that. But I can give you some points of contact if you'd like. Just put your question in the chat. Yeah, and I'll send you some information.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Anyone else?
So I know my. Oh, go ahead.
Whoops.
Go ahead, sir.
So I know for when I got my bachelor's, my joint service transcript gave me some credits. Does that work towards a master's also?
It can, depending on what work you've done in the military. So if you went to like CGSC, or if you had some advanced leadership training, or if you took some correspondence courses, it can. Now, I will say, and this is nationwide, most graduate programs will only accept 6 credit hours transferring in. But a graduate program is typically 10 to 15 classes only. So if you can get 6 credit hours, that's 2 classes. I mean, that could be as much as 20% of your master's degree knocked out already. What program are you looking at?
Human resources.
Yeah, so that is something that there could be a potential for transfer credit from the work that you've done in the military already. But that's not something that I can determine for you. When you turn in your joint service transcript, that gets we look at that, not we, but the registrar's office here at UofL looks at that, and they make that determination on what credits we would accept, and then your program looks at, of the credits that UofL will accept, which of them will work or count towards your program.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Derek, did you have something?
Yes, sir. Are there any dual master's programs that are online specific?
That is a great question. I don't know the answer to that. What I would ask you to do is in the chat box, I have I would start with the louisville.edu/online/military. I would start at that link. That is specifically for this audience. But if you go to louisville.edu/online, if you click that button, they have all the programs listed there. And I would imagine you would be able to combine and I guess for lack of a better word, double major or dual, master's programs. For example, I know like there is a double, if you go for like law school, has an MBA built into it, so you can do both at the same time. So I would imagine there'd be other options for that. Does that answer your question?
Yes, sir. I appreciate that.
Perfect. Yeah, I wish I had more specifics for you. Yeah, anybody else?
Do we know a typical turnaround time for, I guess, applying versus acceptance? Like typically, how long does it take for them to review our entire application?
Well, that depends on the program, and it depends on if you filled out your application correctly and if you met all the deadlines and all that. But it's usually a quick turnaround, usually fairly quick. There are some things as far as military tuition assistance deadlines. I think Brandy covered in her video. I think now you have to make sure that you get your tuition assistance application put in at least 7 days prior to the start of the term. Now, we in our office in the Center for Military Connected Students, we're the ones that get those tuition assistance requests and turn them in, and our turnaround time is, just a day or two. So we're pretty quick about getting that stuff approved.
Okay, great.
And I'm getting those points of contact for you right now.
Thank you so much.
All right. Ellie Rich would be a good person to start with. She can definitely point you in the right direction.
Okay, great.
I just dropped that in the chat box for you. Anyone else? Anything I can help you with? Is anyone here interested in using military tuition assistance?
I will be.
Okay, great.
Yeah, for sure.
If you're an officer, you incur an additional duty service obligation. Enlisted do not. So that's something to consider. But you could always use your post 9/11 benefits. There's lots of things that you could do to get your school paid for. The good news for us is if you're military connected, we do offer that 250 per credit hour for the program, which basically gets covered almost fully by just your military tuition assistance. So it's almost like going to school for free. So it's really a good deal.
Excellent.
How many credit hours is it for a master's?
It depends on your program. Most master's master's degrees are at least 30 credit hours, which means about 10 classes.
So is it like three per, 4 per?
What do you mean? How many should you take at a time? Is that what you're asking?
No, sir. So I'm just trying to see like what my tuition assistance can do per year. Since I'm allowed like only 16, so I'm just trying to see how many classes I can take per year. So is one class for masters in human resources like 3 credit hours per class or 4?
Yes, normally one class is 3 credit hours. Now, sometimes if it's a practicum or if it's like an attached lab or something like that, sometimes it can be 3, 4, 5, maybe even 6 credit hours. It depends on what program you're in and what class you're taking. But yes, most master's classes are 3 credit hours each.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Anybody else? Is it Lewis? Do you have any questions? You can drop in the chat if you'd like. Or Landon, I don't think I've heard from you yet.
If we do have any more questions, should we just email like the enrollment counselors, or could we shoot you an email if we have something?
Yeah, that's a great question. I'm glad you brought that up because I wanted to give you the Center for Military Connected Students, my department. I wanted to give you guys, this is what we call our email box. It's just milconstu for Military Connected Students at louisville.edu. So I just dropped that in the chat for you. So if you want to save that email, you can send any, I'll go ahead and put that in there, send any general questions to that email box. Whoops. And I will see that, and all 5 of me and the other 4 teammates, so all 5 of us are going to see that email that you guys send to that. So between the 5 of us, if we should know the answer, but if we don't, we'll get you to the people that can help you. The other folks that you want to talk to would be the online enrollment officers.
Okay.
Please put that in there, enrollment officers. Now, those are the folks they are the subject matter experts on the programs. But if you have any questions about military benefits at all, VA benefits, tuition assistance, application fee waivers, getting the Kentucky resident rates, getting the $250 a credit hour rates, any questions like that, that's really our expertise in the Center for Military Connected Students. So
Okay.
that would be my 2 recommendations for you.
Excellent.
I did have a quick question, Mr. Dakota. As far as the scholarships opportunities, are those third party or are they
they're like in tuition scholarships too? Is there any?
Are you asking if do they pay tuition or do they pay for housing? Is that what you're asking? Or are you saying,
No,
I'm
no,
not
no,
sure I
no, no.
understand your
No,
question.
I'm saying, are they like, yeah, I'm saying, are there scholarships offered by the university specifically, or are they just coming from just different foundations, maybe as far as the scholarship opportunities?
Yeah, there's different ones. There are different ones. So I think the one that Brandy had mentioned is one that comes from our Center for Military Connected Students department. We make those determinations, so that comes from us. But there are other scholarships available. Yeah, and there's some that are specifically for a spouse or dependent. There's different ones. So if you jump on there, there's lots of information about that.
Okay, and then
Thank you.
If we were doing like the MBA program and you said like, we only get like the $250 per credit, so it pays for half of it, are the soldiers eligible to apply for scholarships to pay for the other half, or can we not double dip?
Yeah, absolutely. Because the payers are different. Scholarship is a different payer than what military tuition assistance would be paying.
Okay.
So absolutely. Yeah, and there's also, financial aid. Probably not as eligible since you guys are all active duty. I'm assuming you probably wouldn't qualify for as much financial aid, but you've got other options as well. You got scholarship opportunities, tuition assistance, VA benefits you might be eligible for. There's lots of ways you can pay for it.
Okay.
Anybody else? Lots of great questions. Rachel or Lewis, I haven't heard anything from you guys yet. Do you guys have any questions? Yeah, go ahead.
I just appreciate the information that you have shared, and would it be possible to make a face-to-face appointment with one of the counselors?
Do you live in the local area? Are you saying you want to come to UofL's campus?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, we can do that. So my office is at Fort Knox, but 3 of my teammates are all on UofL campus proper in Louisville. So if you want to meet with us, I don't see a reason to meet with us in person, but if you would like to meet with the enrollment counselors or with the admissions in person, yeah, that's definitely something they'd be willing to do. Absolutely. They're all located there in Louisville on campus. So yeah, that'd be great. I see a question did that answer your question, Rachel?
Sure did. Thank you.
Perfect. Yeah, Lewis, question is TA per calendar year or fiscal year? And the answer to that is fiscal year, which you guys know as 30 September to 1 October. Let's see, Master of Science, Computer Science specific virtual info session. I don't know when the next one is. If you want to ask, let's see, let me look at the web page here real quick. Give me just a second, and I'll see if I can find it. Okay, I'm not sure when that would be, but the person that you're going to want to ask is Brandy Chamberlain. She's the one that normally gives this class. Let me pull up her email address for you. All right, I'm going to put this email in there. So, Lewis, the answer to your question is ask that question to Brandy Chamberlain. She's probably the one that would actually be given the class on the Master of Science in Computer Science, the virtual info session. All right. Anybody else? Okay, well, I hope this was helpful to you, and hopefully you'll choose U of L as your online program. But again, lots of resources here for you. If you got any other questions that you think of later, you can shoot an email to that MilCon Stew box, and it'll go to me and my team. Or you can reach out to those online enrollment officers, and those are really your two best sources for information outside of our website and the couple of links that I posted. So I'll stick around for another minute or two, maybe 3 minutes or so. If you have other questions, or if you guys just make sure you capture some of those links that I put in the chat box. Go ahead and copy and paste those into a Word document or whatever it is you need to do, but capture that information. And I see a hand here. Lewis, what you got? Go ahead, Lewis. I see your hand. You submitted your application for a waiver. What's the usual turnaround for the code? Yeah, so I've heard, I'm not sure. Are you talking about a coupon code? I've heard someone else ask about that, and I'm not aware of a coupon code. The normal process is you'll take your federal tuition assistance form and you'll email it to, and I'll type it in the chat box here, milltuition@louisville.edu. So we don't issue any coupon codes. What we do is when you email your federal tuition assistance application or the documents that you need to get your application fees waived, when you email it to that email, we get it, and we're the ones that go into the system and waive all the things that you're supposed to get. Also, if it's specific to an application fee waiver, on your application, there should have been some questions in there about if you're military connected. If you answer those, it's supposed to automatically waive those fees for you. Does any of that sound familiar? Okay, why don't you go ahead? Yeah, why don't you go ahead? So the graduate school right now, we're working with them on updating their application system so that it does it automatically like it does for the undergraduates. If you don't mind to email your DD-214 to that Mill Tuition inbox or MilConStu, either one. If you email it to that and tell them what you're looking for, we'll take care of it. We'll get it done tomorrow. Perfect. Yeah, just make sure you put in there student ID number, so we have that for you. We can look you up a lot easier that way. Your U of L student ID number, and then yeah, attach the document and just tell us what you're looking for. Application fee, $250 per credit hour, rates, whatever it is you're looking for, and we'll take care of it for you. Great. Anybody else? I saw Lewis's hand, and I thought someone else was trying to say something before I jumped off here. Okay, I see that. Yeah, go ahead and send the information to us, and we'll take care of it tomorrow. Anybody else? All right. Well, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and hopefully we'll be hearing from you. Thank you very much.
Great. Thank you for all the information.
No problem. Hey, Casey, are you just now joining us? Casey, can you hear me? Casey, if you look in the chat box, I posted some links in there. This is the end of the meeting, so I am going to jump off unless you have any questions. But the meeting started at 6:30 Eastern Time, so we are just about finished. Casey, you're still muted, so I can't hear you if you're saying anything, but I just put in the chat here, louisville.edu/online/military. That's a great resource where you're going to find most of the information that we discussed today. Is there any questions I can help you with before I jump off here? Okay, I'm going to jump off. I don't hear any questions, so I'm going to jump off here. Have a great night.